Hi, everybody. I am Susie from Starter Mom Blog. And today I have something super special. So I have Francesca, the WordPress community manager from Siteground. I also have Maria, the affiliate manager from Siteground, to help kind of uncover that 101 blogging questions that you have on like, what is a hosting company? How and where do I start my blog? What's the difference between WordPress.com, WordPress.org? And then what is a good hosting company for me? So I decided to host these amazing ladies today and help kind of explain all those questions for you. So before we go into getting their amazing advice, basically, from my point of view, and then they will explain it in much better terms, is a hosting company is a place where you actually store your internet files, your blog. It has to live somewhere. You actually have to have a host and a server that keeps your blog up and running all the time. So that's what a hosting company is. Google doesn't own the internet, which most people think. Google is just a directory where people find your blog, but you have to have your files stored somewhere. Then at a high level, because I know a lot of my readers have the question of like, what's WordPress.com and WordPress.org. WordPress.com is a free version, and it's more geared for like hobby blogging. If you're really interested in starting a business and turning your blog into a side income that you can do, and you have way more customization with WordPress.org, then you do need a hosting company to actually store all those amazing files and blog posts and pictures that you're going to put on the internet. Also, another reason why I absolutely love Siteground. I was with another hosting company before. They were good, but I experienced some downtime with my site. So then I switched over to Siteground. Their customer service is amazing. As you guys can see here, they're involved in my success in helping me grow a good blog, and they will be there for you guys too. Their security is amazing. So they keep your site secure and safe so that bad people don't get into it. They keep your site fast because the faster it loads, the more search results you can like rank for in Google. So that's better. And then lastly, they have SSL certificates. And this might be a little high level, but it keeps your site super secure so that you can accept payments if you do decide to sell stuff on your blog. So at a high level, that's why I absolutely love Siteground. And for now, Maria is right above me, if you can see her. She's in the above box. She is Maria. Can you tell us a little bit about you and kind of where you are in your situation right now?
Sure. Thanks, Susie, for the great introduction. My name is Maria. I'm part of Siteground marketing team. Have been part of the team and the company for the last 2 years. Actually, I had my anniversary last week.
Awesome.
Really, yeah. Like the company, like the culture, really friendly, and being our clients, I'm sure you would feel it the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you are expecting a baby?
Oh, yes.
Yes. We're all moms here, so we're very happy. Baby number 3.
Yeah, just like Susie's baby number 3, a third son.
Exactly.
I'll be in a maternity leave soon, but in any case, I'm really excited to talk to you and answer any questions you might have about Siteground. And maybe Francesca, if you want to say a few words about yourself.
And now we also have Francesca, the WordPress community manager.
Yes. So, hi, everyone. Thank you for having us, Susie. This is really lovely. And so my role at Siteground, I joined about 1 year ago. My role at Siteground, as I said, is WordPress community manager, which means that I like to think of that as nurturing and creating new relationships with customers, and also with WordPress users. I travel quite extensively in Europe and North America to attend WordPress events. By the way, I think there was a WordCamp Jacksonville. Yes, I will see if it's going to happen again or if it just happened. In March, I was at WordCamp Miami. So WordPress is a big open source project, and we support it in many different ways. We support, and there are a lot of events. So I go to events, I give talks, I stay at the booth, I connect with people, I talk a lot, and that's basically my job.
Oh, that's wonderful. So, Francesca, you have a really cool backstory. How did
Oh,
you
yeah.
end up at Siteground and doing and traveling the world now, what you do now?
So it all started actually with a mommy blog. um, so when my son was born, he's now 12, I decided that to be a good mom, I also needed to knit his clothes and make his food and sew his kilts and stuff like that. So I didn't know anything about blogging. And so I started looking for tutorials to knit. And all of these tutorials were in blogs, this amazing thing called blogs. And so I said, well, I should start one too.
Yeah.
And after a while, I decided that I had more fun tinkering around with my website instead of knitting. Also, the topic of my blog was basically my son.
Yeah.
And when he got older, he didn't want his pictures taken anymore. By the time he was 5, he was really fed up with this whole internet celebrity thing. So, so I had to recycle myself in a different career.
Right.
So I started learning about WordPress, and I started playing around with websites, and a couple of years in, other moms started writing to me and say, hey, I would like a website that looks like yours.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how I started making websites. And I did that for about 6 years. And then I saw that Siteground was looking, and then I got involved with the WordPress community. And then I saw that Siteground was looking for someone for the community manager job. And I loved Siteground. It was already my hosting company. So like, I'll try this. And so, yeah.
Look at that.
Blogs can take you very far.
Oh, that's such a beautiful story. So from learning, like not knowing what a blog is, to make it yourself, to teaching yourself all those back end things, to now traveling the world, and it's amazing.
It is. I truly believe blogs are very important to either build a new career or cement yourself as a professional in your niche. I still, you have all this posts all the time. Is blogging dead? And no, it's not. And it's still very relevant, and it's still a good idea to start one in 2018.
Definitely. I wish I started sooner, but I'm happy I did.
Yeah.
So I know you guys have some knowledge that you can share with us too. That's more like just the one-on-one about blogging basics. Would you mind walking us through the knowledge that you have?
Maybe I shall start with just sharing a few words background about Siteground, because I'm not sure whether people actually know what Siteground is.
Yes, that would be great. What is Siteground?
Siteground is a hosting company. We've been on the market since 2004, which is quite a long time. We company started like the 3 people. Now we are more than 400 people spread worldwide. We are very popular within the WordPress community, but not only. And one of the recommended hosts by WordPress.org. What makes and differentiates Siteground from other hosting companies on the market? Basically, we are really into making our clients happy, making sure that we provide the latest software, latest infrastructure, so their website just work, and the performance they're getting is really good. And actually, this is what the feedback we are getting from our clients, that once they switch, or if they have any basis to compare, their performance always improves in terms of speed, security. Currently, we are hosting about 1.2 million domains.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we have 5 data centers on 3 continents, North
And
America.
that means,
Yeah,
Maria, sorry to interrupt. So if you have
sure.
multiple data centers, that means that if something happens to one place, then my site's backed up, right?
Yeah, and it's closer to your audience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, currently you're based in North America, so we are looking at clients in North America if you're looking to market and monetize your blog. But if you're in Europe or in Australia, we have data centers that could be closer to your location and to your clients, which makes the performance of your site even better.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah. So further answering the questions, we'll definitely provide more details about the service. So in terms of introduction, probably I shouldn't waste more time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So would you like me to put some questions on the screen?
Yes, while you do that, if you want, I can give you a little bit of intro on the difference between WordPress.com and WordPress.org.
Yes, that is such a big question because
Yes.
I was confused when I started blogging. I'm like, I just started on WordPress.com, so I thought I'm okay. So why do I have to change now? So yes, that would be fantastic.
Okay, so when we talk about WordPress, there are actually two different WordPress, and very confusingly, they're called WordPress.com and WordPress.org. So WordPress.com is a commercial platform that is hosted by WordPress.com. You can get a free blog there, but you will get the domain name will be like francesca.wordpress.com. So the domain will be wordpress.com, and then the other name that you pick, you'll get advertisement between your posts, because that's how they can provide the service for free, right?
Yeah.
So it's owned by a company called Automatic, and you can start a blog there. And as you said before, it's okay if you have like a hobby website that you don't want to invest money or time also to do housekeeping and to do maintenance and stuff like that. And I started there, I just wanted to share some knitting pattern and stuff like that, and it was okay.
Yeah.
You don't have access to the files, so there's a limited amount of options. So maybe you don't want access to the files, but let's say you will hire a designer to do the website for you. So on WordPress.com, there's a certain limitations. They cannot do everything they want.
Right.
WordPress.org was born before WordPress.com, is an open source project. Now, if you're not familiar with open source, very briefly, you get access to the source code, and you can do whatever you want with that.
That's
so
powerful. That's super
powerful. It is. And so even if you want to take WordPress and spin it off completely in a new platform, you can do that.
Yeah.
So the power of WordPress.org is that it's an open source project, and it's maintained by thousands of volunteers around the world. And it gives you basically virtually unlimited access to what you can do with that.
Yeah.
Provided you know how to do it, right? But there are enough tools available, like the themes you suggested or plugins, that even if you're not tech savvy, you can really customize it and bend it to your will. The other great thing about WordPress.org and hosting with Siteground, obviously, is that you own your content. So you're not using someone else's platform like you would do on Blogger or Wix or Squarespace or this kind of platforms, where you're actually using someone else's spaces and someone else's software. You're using an open source project, so you own the files, you own the content, and you can do whatever you want with that.
Exactly.
And the other powerful thing, sometimes platforms unfortunately die, and sometimes they die like a sudden death. So maybe for years you put content on the web and then poof, is gone. WordPress.org is based also on open source languages, so you can just download. If God forbid something will happen to WordPress.org, which will not, because now it powers more than 30% of the web.
That's huge. That's
then you can reuse those files and all those code into something else.
That's amazing.
So, yay for WordPress.org.
That's awesome.
I'm reading the comments.
Yes.
Maybe we should start there.
There was one good question from Sandra.
About recovery.
Yes.
Yeah, it depends on the plan. With our basic plan called the startup, it's a paid option. If you using one of the more advanced plans, Grow Big or Go Geek, it's an extra that comes with the plan. It's free.
Exactly. And I started when I started my blog and I moved it over to Siteground. I went directly to the Grow Big plan, which is their middle tier plan. And the reason why I did that was because I know I have lots of ideas, and the Grow Big plan allows me to host multiple websites with one hosting account. So say, for example, you start a blog about knitting, and a couple months later, you're like, well, I understand how blogging works now, but I don't really want to blog about knitting forever. Then you can buy a new domain name for about $14, $15 per month, but you don't have to buy a whole new hosting package. And then you can start a new blog with the same hosting package. And that's why I love that. My husband actually hosts his blog on our big multiple Grow Big plan, because we can host multiple blogs on there. So.
Yeah, and besides that, the great plus of the Grow Big plan over the startup, I mean, in terms of pricing, they're very close. But the Grow Big, you have the caching, all the 3 levels of caching, which means that your site loads like up to 4 times faster than with the startup plan, which is really important for people visiting your site, because if it takes too long, they'll most probably go elsewhere.
That's true.
So this is one of the other great advantages. But besides that, backup and recovery is included. You also have backup with the startup plan, but you get less copies. But in any case, it's automatic, so you don't have to worry about that. You have it there, but you can't restore it. I mean, if you want us to help with the recovery, you have to pay a small fee. So basically, this is how you could compare and take a decision whether you start with the startup directly or with the Grow Big plan.
Awesome.
I am not sure how deep I should go.
No, I actually, I've used that backup once, because I installed a plugin on my blog, and then I went back to it, and my blog died. And something broke. Some plugin that I thought was cool, it died, and then I didn't know what to do. I couldn't get back into my blog even. I couldn't even get back into it. So I went to Siteground's chat service, and they helped me, and they restored it a day before I installed that plugin. So then everything was good again. So
okay.
I was so nervous. It was my fault, but I think my blog was only down for like an hour because I didn't know what to do. And then when I got in contact with Siteground, it went back up. So that was amazing.
Yeah.
There is a question on the screen. Shall we continue answer these questions?
Yes.
Or? Okay.
The answer is yes. And it's pretty easy. Okay, so the answer is yes, and it's pretty easy because so despite WordPress.com and WordPress.org being 2 different things, they are relatives. So if you have a WordPress.com website, you can export all the content and import it inside of WordPress.org.
Yes.
And that's pretty much a 5 minutes thing. So if you're now on WordPress.com and you're testing the waters and, trying to see if this is something that you like to do, please, by all means, keep doing this. And then when you're ready to move to WordPress.org and Siteground, it's really easy to do. And we're always here to help. So, if you get stuck somewhere, the live chat we'll be very happy to help you if you get stuck at some point of the process. But I promise you, it's very easy.
Yes.
It's a graphic user interface, and you just go export, import.
That's awesome, Brittany. I did that a couple years ago. I went from my WordPress.com site and I imported it into SiteGround. So if you Google Start a Mom blog, WordPress.com to WordPress.org, you'll find the little tutorial. So, just like you said, Francesca, it's pretty simple to do. So that's awesome.
Maybe just to add, we mentioned it already, but on WordPress.org, you need hosting. That's the difference.
Yes.
Yeah, and this is where SiteGround comes in. We provide hosting for your website, like the space, the home where the website could be moved and saved and be live. Yeah.
All right. So Amy says, how often do you back up our websites if we host them with SiteGround?
We have, again, it depends on the plan. With the starter plan, you have one backup copy available, but it's backed up every day. Okay. With the more advanced plans, Grow Big, Go Gig, you have 30 copies of your websites stored and saved.
Okay. That's awesome. So I could go back a couple of days and go find a version from a couple of days ago. Okay.
But if probably
go ahead.
For peace of mind, you should know that unlike other hosts, we do take care of your website, your security, and we make sure you have a backup. Even if you haven't thought about that, you never thought that you have to back up your files, we do it for you.
Okay, awesome. Here's another really good question from Sandra, and probably one that I have a question on too. So she asks, I noticed in your website that you make a difference between plans for general hosting and plans specifically for WordPress hosting, but the prices are the same. What's the difference?
Okay.
Sorry, I have the same question, so I'm wondering.
Basically, our servers are optimized for WordPress. And yes, our shared plans and our WordPress plans, pricing, features, they are pretty much the same. We try to be very transparent. We are not increasing prices because we offer optimized WordPress, managed hosting like competitors do. So basically, you don't get extra features that are different from the shared plans and the WordPress plans. You got all the WordPress features, irrespective whether you sign up for a shared plan or WordPress shared plan.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. So let's see if there's another good question. Vera says, what program am I using for this live? So this is actually BeLive.tv. So it's the first time I'm using this, Vera. If you guys like this type of interview style, let me know and I can do more of these. That's awesome. Thank you. Okay, so Leah says, I left a different hosting company and will be getting SiteGround. I bought the domain name in a different hosting company. Will it be easy to transfer that domain name?
Yes.
Yes.
How do you transfer?
I would go with support. Just go to live chat and ask support people to help, and they'll tell you what to do. It's just a few steps. It's nothing complicated. The good thing about SiteGround is that we are very flexible. We don't require our clients to buy a domain from us. They could buy it elsewhere, manage it elsewhere, and just transfer it to us if they want to, or they could keep managing it elsewhere and just have the hosting from us.
Right.
Yeah.
For everybody who's new, you can actually buy your domain name. So what you call your blog can be at one company, and where you host your files can be at another company. You could technically buy them both at one company and make it easy, so you don't have to remember where you buy domain names and host things, but they could be separate. Like the name of your blog could be, say, for example, GoDaddy. You can buy it there, and then you can host your files with SiteGround. Although I do recommend just keeping it all at one place because it's easier.
Yeah, makes it easier, but I don't know if people prefer to keep them separate, if they have a better offer for renewing their domain, it's perfectly fine. All they have to do is point their domain to our servers, which is a bit technical, but again, it takes just a few clicks. And if you feel lost, just go to chat and they'll help you.
Awesome. All right. So let's see. Did you guys see any questions? Here you go. Let's see here from Amber. How does Siteground help with compliance with the GDPR and backups?
You want to take
so that's a few different questions packed into one. So Siteground itself, the service we provide, is 100% GDPR compliant, which means that as a supplier, we are GDPR compliant 100%. We started this GDPR journey about 2 years ago, something like that. And we made a lot of changes also to our user area, and, because you have the right to be forgotten, the right to delete, the right to export, and all sorts of different things. So we're 100% compliant when it comes to that. When it comes to your website, you are responsible to make it GDPR compliant. So it really depends on what kind of service you provide through your website. And you need different consent forms depending on the kind of things that you offer. So, for example, just to give you an example that you might be familiar with, you signed up for a newsletter, and it says sign up for the newsletter, and you also get a free content, like a PDF. So for European visitors, you actually need 2 checks for that thing, because if I give you my address just to give the PDF, that's one consent. If I give you my address to get that PDF and also be signed up for your regular newsletter, then I need your consent also for that second action.
Right.
So we did actually a webinar a few months ago, and you can find it in our blog. Awesome. I don't know, Susie, if you did a webinar about the GDPR.
No, I did not.
I think in the US it's less, because that's a European law. Right. So it does affect everyone because you have visitors from all over the world, right? That's the beauty of the World Wide Web. So we did a webinar a few months ago. I will post in the comments if you like the link to it with Christo, is our WordPress director of initiatives, of WordPress initiatives, and Maya, our senior legal consultant. So they go over all of these questions. I will post to that because then it will give you more precise information about it.
Awesome. Yes, it's such a big topic. It would be great to just have like the dedicated webinar to it. Yeah.
So just know that us as a provider, we're 100% GDPR compliant, but you as a website owner, you should also do some actions to be sure that you're also GDPR compliant.
Definitely. All right. So let's, I have a little list of questions here. I can ask 1 or 2, and then we'll see if more people have questions. If you have questions about Siteground or hosting your blog, just ask them in the comments. Let's see here. Do you have any tips on actually choosing a blog name? Like, what should you call your blog? What kind of advice do you have?
Okay. So, Maria, can I go on this
sure,
one?
You should. You have so much experience blogging.
So I'm very fickle. I buy domains constantly. I bought so many domains. Every time I had a business idea or, just an idea floating around, I just buy the domain. I bought so many domains that at some point I tried to buy a domain and it was taken, and I was like, who got that domain? It was me.
No way. Oh, that's funny. You actually had it already.
Yeah, I had it already. So I think whatever you decide to do now, just make sure you also own your name if it's possible. Because as we said at the beginning, blogging can take you places, unexpected, great places. And at some point, I see this also a lot with crafters. I worked a lot with artisans and crafters, and sometimes they shift their business a little bit from just doing handmade to teaching other people how to sell their handmade creation. So there might be a bit of a shift in your business at some point. And as you said, it might work for me to be mommy knits today.
Yeah.
But at some point, I might want to teach other people how to sell their handmade craft, and it will make more sense to sell that under my name. So whatever name you pick today, if your name is still available, try to get it.
Yes. Yeah.
And the other thing that I would say, again, the beauty of the World Wide Web is you can reach people everywhere. So don't pick domains that are too smart or too difficult to spell out, because you might have a client from Italy. And if you have like a 35 letters domain with a lot of consonant, it might be very hard for me to remember that. This is why I yours is genius, because start a mom blog, like straight to the point.
Right. I just figured I don't know what to call it. I'm just going to help other moms do this too. So we're going to start a mom blog. Okay.
Yeah. You could have been, super smart and creative and go for a bit of a weird, but no. And that's easy. And I can remember it in most languages, and it's short. So even if I meet you at a conference and you have to spell that out, it's going to be easy enough for me to mark down.
Thank you.
So I would say.
And Google ranks you higher. I'm sure.
It helps. It helps. Yeah. Because they know I've niched. This is my one topic. I'm very focused on this. I don't blog about what I ate last night, even though I would. I'd like to, but I don't. And you're right. I found my name and I saw my name was still available. So I bought SusieWhitford.com. There's not much on it. It's just a landing page that then directs back to my other blog. Exactly. But for now, at least I have it.
Exactly. So whenever you think of a business opportunity or whatever, just get the domain. They're really cheap. I think if you can buy domains for like $5 or $6 a year.
Yeah.
Right now. So just get it.
Get your name.
And yeah, also, if at some point you want to redirect your blog to another domain, it's not that difficult. So, and you will not lose the ranking. So just get the domains that you think you need and get your name. That's really important.
Exactly. All right. So let me see. How about the customer service at Siteground? Like, are you guys always available there to help? What if I can only blog at 12 p.m. at night when my kids are sleeping? Is there somebody to help me?
Yes. So our customer support is available 24/7. We respond immediately to chat. We have a live chat system and we have a phone system that I'm always very surprised people use a lot.
Wow. Okay.
I would never call.
Yeah, me neither. I would always check.
Yeah, but apparently people use it a lot, and we have a whole team dedicated to that.
Wow.
And then if you have more technical questions, then we have a ticketing system that you can access from your user area. And in that case, the first response will come. We say it will come in 10 minutes, but most of the time I've seen replies like the first reply, that it will say, we're taking care of this. It will come in under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But ticketing is used for more technical questions, all the questions that you might have, quick question. You just go to the live chat and there's someone 24/7 the whole year round. So
that's awesome.
Exactly.
It helps me so much because I don't blog during normal working hours, and it's great, especially for us mommy bloggers. We're never on our computer when we're with our kids.
Yeah.
All right. So Ashley says, can I buy my domain name through SiteGround?
Yes, you can. You can buy it when you register for. You cannot buy just the domain.
Yeah.
You cannot go to siteground.com and just buy the domain, but you can register a domain with us while you buy a hosting account.
Exactly.
And then when you have a hosting account, you can buy additional domains through us. Otherwise, you can buy a domain name from any of the domain registrars around the world. And then they have this function that will point your domain to our hosting.
Exactly.
And it's pretty easy in every domain registrar. So on your hosting account, you'll get the server name, where the server is just really a machine where your files are, all right?
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing metaphysical about it. So you have an address, that's your machine where your files are, and you put that in your domain registrar user area. So it's kind of easy to do.
So yes, Carol, you have your domain name at Bluehost for the last 2 years. Is it easy to switch? Yes. If you want to switch, you can still keep your domain name with Bluehost if you want to, and then switch all your website and blog over to SiteGround, or you can transfer your domain name and your blog as well. And it's not too tricky. And just to make sure, like when, say for example, I'm switching from one host to another host, does my website go down at all? Is there any downtime?
There's a whole procedure. Well, we first transfer. So when we transfer, if you want to transfer from another hosting, what we will do, there are different ways to do this. And just recently we launched the plugin so you can do it yourself. But let's say you request our help. What we will do, we will transfer all the files. We will give you a temporary address where you can check if everything is working. And then if everything is working, we switch the domain. And there's a time where this domain propagates, that's called. So there might be a bit of a downtime, but it's not because of the hosting, because it's because of the domain propagation. When we say, okay, so this domain doesn't point to A anymore, it points to B, it might take some time to do that. It's few hours, tops. Most of the time this happens in less than an hour.
Right. I've moved my stuff over and I barely even noticed the downtime. So it happens really quickly. So I'm happy I switched over. It was scary.
Yes.
I was scared, but I'm glad I did it before my blog got too big.
Yeah.
So when I knew, I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to switch. I'd rather do it now than 6 months from now, because then I might have more content and more followers. So I'd rather just do it now and get it done.
I mean, but also don't be scared to move a really big hosting. So I run a blog with other women for entrepreneurs in Italian. It's a completely other life. And we had about 700 blog posts.
Wow.
And we have like 60,000 viewers every month. And we switched that to SiteGround. I don't think we even had 1 minute of downtime.
That's awesome.
So, because it was from WordPress, it was still WordPress.org. It was just a different hosting. So the customer care took care of that migration, and that was it. So better now than later. But even if you already have a big website, don't worry, because we have a special technical support team that will do that for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's so good to know. All right. Question from Vera. If I have the startup plan, which is SiteGround's first plan, the basic plan, does buying another domain name mean I can have abc.com and xyz.net and both will have a separate website if I go up? What do I need to do?
So on a startup account, you can have only one website. So it's either abc.com or Z. Okay, that's, for example, in Italian, it's impossible because we don't have those 3 letters in Italian, but I say xyz.net. So you cannot have both websites in the same account. So you have 2 different options. One is getting another startup account, but I would suggest to get a grow big account where you can host unlimited websites.
Exactly. And I'm just like you. I buy domain names when I have a business idea. So I have about 19 domain names right now.
Yeah.
Some of them have turned into blogs and they're doing well, but some of them are just sitting there because I might do something with them one day.
Yeah, you never know.
Awesome. All right, you guys, this was so amazing. You guys gave us so much knowledge. Is there anything that you guys still want to share? Otherwise, this has been such a helpful interview.
Thank you for having us. I cannot see Maria anymore.
I can still see her.
Okay, she's still here. Well, it was really interesting. Thank you for having us. We at Siteground, we really love sharing what we know. So it's fun for us. And I would close by saying also visit our blog. We have tons of resources, more about hosting. Visit Susie's blog for resources about blogging, of course. And if you hear this WordCamp thing, this WordCamp word thrown around you, see if there's one close to you, because WordPress has an amazing community that meets also offline.
Okay.
And there are meetups, there are WordCamps, and there are these informal events where you can get to talk to other people that are
that's a great idea.
On your path as well. So that's a good thing to do.
Thank you. Thank you. And at the bottom right here, this is the first time I'm using this little feature. Can you guys see that? Isn't that kind of cute? If you go to siteground.com/startamonblog, you can look over the plans that Siteground has. And it's my affiliate link. So if you guys do decide to go through it and sign up, I do get a small commission. So thank you. But it's all because I honestly believe in Siteground and I use it myself. So
thanks.
And Maria, congratulations on baby number 3 that's coming soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, I expected more questions, but in any case, we're really glad to talk to you and hope people enjoyed it and we managed to answer some of the questions. I'm sure there are more.
But that's okay. I'll take this video and I'll put it on my blog so that people can, if they missed the live today, they can always rewatch it again.
Yeah, and we'll be glad to do it again. I enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you so much, Maria. Thank you, Francesca. I appreciate your time.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.